Hi guys, and welcome to the Deuber table. We are going to, and by we, that's the royal we, we're going to make dinner. Meaning Mark is going to make dinner. What are we having tonight?
Well, we're going to make something pretty simple but really tasty tonight that I think that a lot of people really love, and it's actually pretty easy to make at home. It's penne alla vodka. Penne alla vodka sauce, and you know, people love getting that in restaurants, and
it's one of my favorites.
They buy the vodka sauce at the supermarket, but unfortunately that one usually doesn't have enough vodka or enough cream in it. It just tastes like tomato sauce.
Vodka and pasta. I mean, who doesn't like that? So
and we got our wine here, so cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, you guys. So, number one ingredient, vodka. Number two, pasta. 3, San Marzano tomatoes. You guys are also going to need garlic and some onion. So it can either be shallot or just regular onion. Also salt and heavy cream. And is that it? And some thyme, dried thyme. And we're going to show you all of these things in our video. Enjoy. Okay, so we're going to get started.
We've tried to put everything that we need together here.
Including wine to drink while you're cooking. Very important step.
So I have a little shallot here. So we're gonna slice that. And we're gonna get a nice dice of shallot.
San Marzano tomatoes, organic tomatoes, a can of those. And we have red pepper, flakes,
with a little garlic here,
beluga,
I think.
And of course, vodka.
And we're just gonna kind of eyeball everything. It doesn't need to be perfect.
Yeah, people always ask Mark for his recipes, and I always try to tell people he doesn't have recipes. Like, he just kind of makes it, just kind of cooks, you know, doesn't have a recipe to go by.
So we used a pretty good sized shallot there. I think today I'm going to use 2 cloves of garlic. We got multiple people we got to keep happy. Zuri's not a big garlic fan, so we can't have too much. Mommy's a big garlic fan.
I love garlic.
When I chop garlic, I like to put a little salt with it. It makes it stick in place a little bit. So,
and Mark's really great at, it's like, I am not the best at this. He calls it, it's mise en place, right? So in French, it means preparing what? Preparing
everything in its place. So it's like, get all your ingredients, get ready to do what you need to do. And so that you're not suddenly cooking and something's gonna burn. I'm probably gonna use about 2-3 tablespoons of butter. It's generous, it's probably 4, but we'll call it 2.5.
We're big fans of butter.
Socially acceptable.
At the Deuber home.
So the other thing that we're going to want to use, we're going to start cooking this in a minute. We're using, these are San Marzano tomatoes. They're from Italy. They're very, very flavorful. This is the one place that I think canned tomatoes are better. These are whole peeled tomatoes. So I'm going to open them up. And
what do you want me to do?
Nothing yet. So you can buy puree if you want. These are whole tomatoes, so we're going to puree them ourselves. You can use your hands and crush them. I'm going to put them in a food mill here. This is a food mill. You can see that. I'm the food mill. It's basically going to turn them into a puree. And that's a 28 ounce, I think this is 28 ounce. Yeah, 28 ounce can of tomato.
And San Marzano tomatoes are the best, right?
Yeah,
organic San Marzano tomatoes. They're flavorful.
They're very sweet and flavorful.
And then, so he took his chives and garlic and just put them all in a little container. And this is, how many chives? 1 chive? 2 chives?
There's no chives in there. There's just shallot and garlic. And that's cute on the chives, though.
Shallot. I knew
you
that.
You could use onion.
So 1 shallot. I did know that was a shallot. Shallot and 2 cloves of garlic.
All evidence to the contrary. Okay. So we're gonna put this in there. I'm using my fingers, but I've just washed my hands. You didn't see that, but I did because I opened the mail, and then we're gonna wash our hands again here. Now, we could use this the way it is. This is where I get all fancy, and I like to have a denser tomato product, so I'm gonna put it back into the can.
So you run it through a food mill and then you put it back in the can.
Then I'm gonna just pour it into a little strainer here. And a little bit of liquid's gonna come out. I don't have to leave it in that long. Sometimes we make something called tomato water.
Oh yeah, tomato water is really great. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef. All right. So I'm gonna put a little salt in there too.
So for the non-chef, does that just like seep through there? Do you need to like stir it through the thing?
You don't need to stir it. I would just leave it alone. I would let it sit here. And if you look here in the bowl, we're getting a very, very liquid product.
Oh, so you're letting the liquid drain out of that and you're getting rid of the liquid in the bottom?
I'm going to get rid of the liquid in the bottom, and we could
Okay.
use it for something else, but I want this to be a little bit more concentrated. Now we basically have all our ingredients for penne alla vodka ready to go, except cream, which we've kept in the refrigerator. So now we're going to go to the stove. So we have our pan here now. It's on pretty medium heat.
I'm going to stand on the other side of the stove and just,
I'm going to grab our little
be
butter
out of the
here
way.
and put that in there. You can see that's sizzling away. And we're just gonna eyeball everything that we're doing. I have our shallot and garlic that we mise en place here, or what Carrie called chive for the shallot. And then there's a tiny bit of tomato paste that made it in there. That's okay. That's in there. We're gonna put that in there.
You put what? Tomato paste? Oh.
There's a tiny little bit that fell in there, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, from the tomato.
We're gonna put that in there. And then the way I regulate heat on this French top is here it's super hot, here it's not so hot. So I want this stuff, I don't want it to brown, I just want it to sweat a little bit. So I keep it over here on this corner of the stove and it will sweat for a little while.
By sweat, you mean it just like simmers, kind of sizzles,
It kind of softens.
softens.
Yeah.
Mark makes cooking look really easy.
We put a little bit of salt with the garlic already. A little bit more salt is going to be beneficial.
And
It
salt
helps
really
to release the moisture in the vegetables, so they will soften better.
Yeah, and salt brings out so much flavor in your food, It makes a big difference. I feel like I'm the one who got you onto the salt.
You did. I didn't used to cook with that much salt.
No.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. That's what he says. Don't do that. How's everybody dealing with quarantine?
If you want some,
Living
you
together
can have this.
forever.
If you want something.
Thanks.
Okay. But you could also just leave it sitting here and it'll be just okay just by itself. And we're good.
Yeah, I agree. So stir it or don't stir it. He says don't stir it.
Well,
You can shake it.
there's enough butter in there, it's not gonna stick. And so it's gonna be beautiful. You can see it there, I think there.
Yeah.
Nothing is browning.
Sweat them.
Okay.
Sweat the garlic, sweat the onions.
Anytime
All right.
we want.
With butter.
We can add our vodka now, they've sweated a
goose.
while. Okay. We're gonna add maybe, let's go with, I don't know, maybe a third of a cup.
I'm gonna show you guys just so you can see.
So that was probably about a third of a cup, maybe a third to half a cup. Now we can put this over more heat here, so when I put it on this part of the stove, it's hotter. Nothing will brown.
This is my part.
So
You can do a shot of vodka while you're cooking.
Penne
That's my
alla vodka
favorite part about
is
penne alla vodka.
not alcoholic because the alcohol burns off. You can see it's evaporating very quickly. Red chili flakes. As much or as little as you want.
I love spice in my food, so I always want more red
So we'll add
chili
a little
flakes.
bit. We added a fair amount there.
And I always end up adding them at the end.
Now I'm going to add the sauce that we drained. and it's pretty thick. I'm going to ask you to scrape that out and add all of it in there. You can see how much fluid came out of that. If you want a looser sauce, you can add some of this back. But I like a pretty tight sauce. Like that.
Tight sauce. He likes a tight sauce.
Now at this point, we need this to just simmer, so we'll move it back onto the lighter point or on your stove. You just turn it down to a simmer and let it simmer.
But we just get, pasta. Sometimes we make pasta. I actually don't like homemade pasta as much with this sauce. I like the store-bought stuff better than homemade with vodka sauce.
So we're simmering away here. Now, honestly, this is something that I would just leave on a slow simmer. There's one more ingredient.
How long do you simmer it, though?
I mean, you could simmer this kind of sauce for 30 minutes. You could simmer it for 2 hours. It'll be good either way. I actually think it tastes better the next day.
Oh, really?
But it's pretty good right away.
Reminds me of a Bloody Mary.
I have one more ingredient that I really like in it with tomatoes, and it's thyme. I have a little container here that we keep dried thyme in, and I added quite a bit. I probably added a teaspoon and a half to that 28-ounce can of tomatoes. The last ingredient for penne vodka sauce is never like a red sauce. It's more of a pink sauce. The pink comes from cream here. So we have some heavy cream, and that can go in there, and I'm going to add a fair bit. That was probably half a cup.
It was a lot.
Maybe a little more.
That was more than half a cup. That was probably 3/4 of a cup.
Okay.
But just kind of judge, we do everything based on taste, not on, exact recipes.
Now we've added salt a couple times, but this amount of tomatoes is going to need more salt, so we'll add a little more. So we've probably added 4 or 5 good pinches of salt.
Looks so good. So this has to simmer for a little while.
But it's pretty much,
It's pretty much done, but it just needs to simmer and thicken up.
You can try it. It's probably still
Vodka-y. At this point, it's still got a little bit of vodka flavor.
That's it.
So good.
And
All right,
just gotta
guys.
cook up some penne and then mix it in with the sauce. Grate a little Parmesan cheese on top, maybe a little diced basil, and a little chiffonade of basil, and you'll love it.
Thanks,
That's
you
it.
guys.
Easy.
Thanks for tuning in to the Deuber table. We hope you guys enjoyed it, and enjoy your penne vodka. Have a shot along with your pasta, and it's all good.